Hey folks, my name is Pilot Light, and today we're going to be doing a Deadwater Docks. This dungeon is probably one of the most dangerous non-exaltation dungeons. I would place it somewhere between a cultist hideout and a nest. So when you're doing this, I highly recommend, if you're not 8 out of 8, at least getting some pretty high attack and dex for the DPS, speed so you can dodge well, and defense. Probably the most important things for this dungeon. Before then, I wouldn't try it super hard. For unmaxed characters, I would say. If you're confident in your abilities, obviously you can. But all right, so we're gonna hop in here. There is gonna be an event boss at the end of this that I'll cover, but I believe this boss is only gonna be around for Month of the Mad God 2022, so it may not be relevant after this. So I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know to clear this dungeon. The first and most important thing in this dungeon especially is to keep your eye on your mini-map as much as you can. You're going to start always in this little crescent moon shaped area. The reason you want to keep your eye on the mini-map is because there is a very powerful like semi-boss monster that wanders around this dungeon called the Calamity Crab. And sometimes he can even show up in areas that you thought you've already cleared safely. So just keep your eye on your minimap. Watch out for any dots that are where you might not be expecting them, because that could be the Calamity Crab. We will be killing him and going over what to do when you encounter him. Generally speaking, the enemies in this dungeon, as you can see, are not like, oh, there's the Calamity Crab, and we're just going to kite him out and drag him around the map. As a ranged character, this is pretty easy. As a melee, this is a little tougher. But you just kind of drag him around into safe areas until he dies, and he'll drop some pretty good stuff. Greater speed, greater dexterity, and life. I believe those are all guaranteed drops for at least one person. At least every time I've solo killed him, I've got all 3 of those. But yeah, again, not super dangerous as a melee though. Can be scary for sure. You saw how many bullets he shot out. As a ranged character, though, you can definitely kite him back and just deal with him. Even in that space where I didn't have that much room to run back, I was fine to kill him. If you have to, you can always try to run past him, but make sure you're slamming your health potions as you do that, in case you're taking damage, and don't ever stand on top of him because you will instantly die. But now that we've killed him, I don't have to really pay as much attention to the minimap. None of the enemies in here are super dangerous. The big guys are definitely more dangerous, but the general strategy is to just walk up to them and kite them out. You're going to have these cannon gunners. The one thing I want to mention if you want to rush this dungeon is you want to watch out. Oh, I killed him. That's unfortunate. You want to watch out for those guys that have the little bubbles that you might have saw a little bit earlier. Those do quiet you, so if you're rushing, that can be dangerous. This here is the Kingdom Stowaway. It's purely a lore thing, doesn't matter, but it shows up every time. And as you can see, this water, you don't want to stand in this water. It does 60 damage per second, so it can kill you pretty quickly. The darker water you cannot cross at all. So like if I wanted to, you can see on the minimap up here, if I wanted to go from the Kingdom Stowaway to the main, I would have to have some sort of teleportation. I couldn't walk through that water. Same over here. Looks like an island over here that I could get to if I had teleportation. I think that's actually the treasure room, so we're going to head over there soon, but I don't have any teleportation on this character. I'm a sorcerer, so I can't wall hop there. Generally speaking, though, if it looks like there's a shortcut, you've already killed the Calamity Crab, and you can walk over that water, it's usually pretty safe to do so. It will just deal 60 damage per second, so make sure you're hitting potions if you need to. So this is the treasure room. It's always going to be on the map, and it's going to spawn, I think, 4 or 5 of these large dudes. So that guy just shoots guns at you. He's not bad. The monkey chases you like crazy. This guy shoots those blasts. The monkey's the one you want to watch out for, because he will chase you very quickly, and he has those converging shots. Again, none of the shots do that much damage, so it is hard to get killed by a lot of the non-Calamity Crab mobs in here. Relatively easy dungeon to clear, but the Calamity Crab does make it quite dangerous, and the final boss is quite difficult. So we'll be getting over to that in just a second. Just want to clear this. So yeah, to the treasure room, again, you kill those dudes, the chest becomes vulnerable, you break it, and you usually just get regular speed. I think you can get greater potions in that, but did not this time. So we're just going to head straight up to the boss. The entry to the boss is always to the left or the right, so maybe that up I took was maybe a dumb decision because it was going to be more like directly under it, but we will be getting there pretty shortly. And the other thing to keep an eye out for is these barrels. They explode, they do damage to yourself and enemies around you. It's 120 armor piercing to yourself. I think it does actually more to the enemies. I haven't actually tried, but I feel like it does a good chunk to the Calamity Crab as well. Yeah, so that just like fully killed those enemies that were near it. So it does do more damage to the enemies than it does to yourself. So you can use those if your DPS isn't great to help you out in clearing. But again, nothing super dangerous in here. If you do want to rush, you want to make sure you're careful of those quiet shots. I'm not going to rush because I'm on a sorcerer with good gear right now that I don't want to lose, and just play it a little bit safe. But yep, that's why you don't want to rush. A little dicey there. Had to chug some pots. Was playing a little aggro, but that's okay. So, like I said, dungeon, not super dangerous, but don't play reckless. You just move up, kite enemies back, and kill them. And here we are. This is the boss set piece. Whenever you see these banners, you're about to fight the boss. There's this little ship here. It's going to have 4 of these big dudes in. You only have to kill 3 because there's going to be 1 in the bottom, 1 in the left, and then 1 at the entrance to the boss. If you go around to the other side, there's going to be another one over here, but there's no reason to ever go to that other side, except for to show you. Worth mentioning that these stairs here do slow you down, so if you're like trying to kite from an enemy, keep that in mind. There's no stairs in the boss room, but yeah. Okay, so John Bilgewater, the Pirate King, is actually one of the more difficult bosses for non-exaltation bosses. So I'll walk you through his phases as we go. He's going to pick from one of, I think, 4 or 5 random phases and just keep cycling through those, but there's going to be some stages in between. Okay, so this one, he's going to do small rotations around the middle. He's going to shoot those, what are they called, cutlasses, in a direct line at you. So you can just run around from, and those like coins will expose you, so you want to not get hit by those. That one was just shooting those blasts. That's a very easy phase. After you get him down to, I think, 75% health, he goes into this phase where for the rest of the fight, we're going to have these cannons shooting from the side. This is a very easy phase where he just stands in the middle. Then right here, he's going to, right around 60% health, he's going to spawn this parrot that you're going to want to kill. He's just going to stand in the middle of the room at this. The parrot will chase you around, and then he becomes vulnerable again after you've killed the parrot, and he's just going to keep going through his phases, and that's literally the rest of the fight. He's going to keep cycling through these various phases he has while these things shoot from the outside. You'll notice that I'm not using an offset on the camera, and that's because there's a lot of bullets that come from different angles, and it can be hard to see everything that's going to hit you if you're using an offset. So this is one of the fights that I do like to keep my screen centered. But yeah, this phase, I'm just going to not kill him because he goes, I wanted to show you, when he does that outer circle, he goes dizzy at the end of it, so you can get a lot of free DPS, even if it's hard to hit him during it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We're going to kill Nefret here after this spawn, but thank you for watching. And yeah, I'll just talk a little bit about Nefret here, even if I don't know if she's going to come back, but basically, her whole thing is... Oh, let me switch to my Limmy so I can kill her faster. Her whole thing is she'll shoot these snakes. Those snakes sicken you, and she'll shoot those blue blasts, which do 125 armor piercing, and those pillars you want to stay away from. I think they do like... let me take one in a second. But yeah, she'll keep spawning these little dudes, too, that you just kind of kill him instantly. Nefret is not a super dangerous boss. You just don't want to get too close and get sickened and gunned down. Cool. All right, well, thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you clear out Deadwater Docks.